I don't really remember if there was anything special I wanted to do before doing the next area, which is up here. I think I was just gonna run around, do some caves, level up. Actually, we should do the one thing. We should go and get our weapon. Now that it's, I think it's obtainable. I think it's up there. I mean, it was obtainable, like, way early, because you can skip the first boss. But I like Limgrave. But I've never done a playthrough where, like, I just go right to the middle area. Specifically because I kind of want to avoid the, you know, standard... Oh, this is not your first time in Elden Ring. Just run to the middle of the game, grab all your stuff, and then, you know, steamroll. I like collecting the stuff. Which you think, you know, I'd do more like collectathon games. I almost said collectopedia. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything up here. I think I grabbed whatever was important. Oh, no, I don't think I talked to the guy. Or did I do that yesterday? I don't think it matters. Yeah, probably not doing anything crazy today in Elden Ring. Looks like we're having a bit of shader cache. Which makes sense because I have not been to this area since, you know, trying Elden Ring. I've only gone to Stormvale and Limgrave. So if anything was pre-cached, it was that area. So we might see the Elden Ring special. I mean the hardware special, not the special of character holds a move in place for like way too long and then swings. That's the Elden Ring special in-game. The Elden Ring special out-of-game is the stutter. And not due to my controller disconnecting and reconnecting. Kind of dripped out. Kind of like it.
You're unsurprised. No matter, no matter. Why don't? Oh, don't. Oh.
Only that. Don't really need anything here. What the heck? I've never actually attacked the merchants, but I know that if you attack one, I think they just all become hostile. They post about it on Twitter. Nice jumping. Kind of have a ways to trek. That's okay. Still keeping my eye out on any, like, Elden Ring DLC news. I do want to talk about it, considering it's one of the big things I'm looking forward to this year. And apparently the game, not the game, like the expansion is going to be huge. From looking into it, apparently it was going to be 2 DLCs, but they kind of combined them. You know, hence why it's been, what, almost 2 years since Elden Ring's come out? And we've really only gotten the name and maybe a few bits of scattered details. But that's got me hoping that they're actually going to do, like, kind of an overworld overhaul. And not that it needs, like, that much, but it just needs... It just needs a touch-up. As well as I would like them to maybe introduce, you know, something... A little bit more of a defensive mechanic. Specifically for, like, the end game. Okay, that's not great. And I've talked about, like, upgrading armor. And I know it's not, you know, the greatest solution. But I feel like you could balance something like that pretty easily by making, like, a specific resource that only drops, you know, at specific points or is in specific areas. So you can kind of balance out the game by not really making that much available until, you know, the game needs it. And really, that's only to combat the every boss kills you in like 2 hits at the end of the game kind of problem. Or just have, like, your defenses scale up, like, way more on level up. Which is another way you can kind of balance it. But then you might see the difficulty of, like, the early game go down. Or just scale it up. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things you could do to, you know, solve that problem. It's just, you know, whatever From Software wants. And I feel like the finding specific items one is probably better, because that kind of makes it an optional difficulty where it's like, you know, we can collect X more upgrade items, but, you know, I want to fight this boss now. So I think that's probably the option that I would go with. And you could even just have it be like a character specific, like, buff. Not like a buff, but like a passive. So you can use whatever armor while not forced to pick something to upgrade. Or just make food more relevant. I'm going to try it this playthrough, if I can remember. So that if I want, like, a boss to not kill me in 2 hits, I can, like, prep some food. you know, and maybe survive like 4 or 5 hits. Thus giving me a chance to actually, you know, heal. You know, and not just be like, oh, well, I got hit once. Time to heal right now. Oh, you did a fast move? Shouldn't have healed. And it's definitely too late to like make any of those changes now. Well, not really, but if it's speculated the DLC is coming out very soon, it's definitely too late. And I have zero way of communicating any kind of sway in From Software's development. I'm literally just a guy. And at this video on YouTube, it's like 1 view, 17 seconds watch time. Ain't nobody gonna know I even said it. But right now on the channel, these are coming out like a week past like when I'm actually doing it live. If anything any news or any details come out in that time, I'm just gonna look really dumb. Or really smart. It's the 18th today. Thursday the 18th. Oh, there's our one respec if we need it. I did not change the brightness. I did not boot this game up past ending stream the other day. So it's still a touch too dark. Weird that they didn't put it in here. Like display. They're usually pretty good about that. Square off is busted.
Please, no. Tell me. I haven't a clue. No secrets lie with me, not a one. Oh, please leave me be. Wait then. Well. Oh, we're finished. The curse, I beg you. You must keep. And then please give.
I have no clue how you're really supposed to find that guy. There's probably like a note. One of those little memos. Which I remember, I think early on I actually read them. And then like after the first one, I just like gave up. Please no. Please don't go over here right now. Want that heal? Okay, got it before it actually went off. Annoying. I didn't know that was a triple. Okay. Will not. Yeah, really, the only difficult part about that fight is if the dogs get involved. Then it's not so fun. I didn't even know there was a dog here. Also, don't be surprised if we end up dropping frames. That's what I want to do. Let's just keep doing endurance. I don't think there's nothing over here, but I don't think there's much. still, I'm not going to talk about Dungeon Meshi. Even though the episode was good today. I think all the episodes are just going to be good. But I just have to accept the fact that I definitely was spoiled very early on. So up until probably the end of season 1. Which I'm assuming it's season 1. I don't think we're going to get the whole thing. You know, at this point. Is this the teleport one? How do I get up here? I don't remember at all. It might be one of those teleporters. I had to really try hard not to say teleportal. That's what I want to say. I know there's some way up there. I can't remember how. You think for a weapon I would want, I'd remember how to get up there. Think I don't know the secret. I know a lot of secrets. It's not even that difficult. But it's one of those points in the game where, like, you kind of feel like, oh, the open world is actually cool. They actually expect you to do stuff like that. Also, I've not watched any more Seinfeld. I should probably put it on when I'm doing my end of the night stuff. Because I've only got 2 seasons left. Thank you. Got a little bit of the double dip. got to be done, right? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong area. Because I'm starting to think this is the Ronnie area. We can't get up there, and where I'm trying to go is somewhere else. Which is pretty likely. Like I'm thinking it's like over in this chunk. It would help if I actually picked up the map. I thought it was just this area because it looked, you know, very familiar to me. Just make a beeline for this one. Yeah, I think that's it. That area. I just remember it being very, like, castle-y. And there was, like, a castle town, too. It'll probably be a while before we do another big dungeon. I knew it was kind of like that at the start. That's why I didn't even upload the first chunk of Elden Ring. Because I was just running around collecting stuff. We're kind of there again. But there was like a mini dungeon, so like I could kind of fill in the time. Considering the status of everything, it's going to be a very silent time. But at least I have an objective. And for trying to beeline to it, I've done a pretty bad job. Don't want to go more so in this direction. I honestly thought that would one-shot. Thought that was the secret. No, I don't think this is our spot. We're getting closer. Hopefully.
Your time. I welcome you. I am my apology. Do you know how it came? Well, that is the shattering. It is here by the matter, and so the earth.
Golden sewing needle. Important. I think. Thought we got that from someone else. Maybe there's two? Yeah, that's our spot. Also, I keep doing the double jump like mid-air, like it's gonna save us from fall damage. I don't think it works like Mario 64. You know, where you fall and then you can do the hip drop to eliminate the fall damage, just because it was programmed weird. Hey, Ika. Morning. Well, I guess it's afternoon now. Been pretty bad on keeping the 12 o'clock time frame consistent. Oh, these guys. Thankfully, we have the cheese. Hope Monster Hunter was going alright last night. I know y'all were playing. And every time I watch, I get a little bit closer to actually wanting to play. But then the more I watched, and the more I saw you guys farming the same guy over and over and over again, I'm like, I don't have time for this. Oh no. But I like that the subject of what's better, World or Rise, came up. Because I've also talked about that a little bit. And I think now that Rise is out, and that's kind of the direction Monster Hunter's been taken in, I don't think it's out of the ordinary to say that, you know, people prefer World over Rise. But I didn't want to say anything like in chat because I didn't want to like go into the details of how I think the series should go. Because I know Tito was saying that she was like, I don't even know how they do something if it was like semi-open world, which I think it will be. I think it'll be open zone, kind of like Arceus, where it's like an open environment. But I would really just like, I would actually like them to re-implement more hunting elements than, you know, remove them. I don't even think it would be like the guiding lands. I think we're looking probably more like, you know, the Breath of the Wild. You know, the wild is in the name. When I hear wild now, I'm like, oh, here we go again. And obviously you have a little mount, so, you know, it could be a little bit more like Elden Ring. Maybe they're taking a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I don't think it'll be one big open world. I think it'll have chunks. Or it could just be one big open world with, you know, maybe a little bit more emphasis on fast travel. Where you could have like your hub in the middle and like the north is the snow area and the south is the... Well, it would also be a snow area, but like for the sake of variety, it'll be the magma area. You know, and the west might be the, you know, more watery area. And I would love it if they actually brought back swimming. Even though like swimming is kind of jank in Monster Hunter 3, I think they could make it like better. It's not even like Soulsy. It's like Souls in the sense that like bosses hit hard and your, you know, your movement and ability to do things is dictated by a meter. So they are similar. In fact, I think they're more similar now with like Rise and World than how they used to be. Because I wanted to go back to like classic format. And I know a lot of people also like that because I have a lot to say about the wire bug where I think it is fun in Rise, but it kind of takes away so much of what like you need to do in Monster Hunter. Because like it's so safe. The movement options are so safe. Every weapon gets access to it. So like the slow things that kind of need good positioning and, you know, timing, you can kind of just be like, oh, panic button, let me get out. And, you know, it removes a lot of the risk out of the risk reward of using like a slow weapon. Or, you know, like something that's really stationary like a bow gun. And it does add, like, you know, it's just a different kind of game. I think Rise, it was maybe, hey, let's try this. It's like Nintendo's paying for it. They want like timed exclusive. Let's just do this with Monster Hunter. You like the claw for the added movement. Wire bug seems too much. I think they just watch Attack on Titan and moved away from it rather than the Zelda. See, even the claw, I'm not... Like, it's not the worst. Because it's not like you can just swing around. Like, you kind of just use it to grapple onto certain things. And there's certain areas you can grab on and use it for the environment. So the claw is not the worst. My problem with the claw is when... It actually is kind of in Iceborne. When they added the clutch claw. And it just became like grapple, weaken the part, grapple, launch him into a wall. you know, grapple, mount the monster, and I'm just like, okay, every fight just kind of starts to feel like you're doing the same thing. I think they need to really dial it back. I'm okay with like a universal mechanic. But also you don't really need that. I want it to go back to more prep work where your loadout actually needs to be thought about. And honestly, even more of an emphasis on it, because I saw Tito fighting the Savage Devil Joe, and I don't think it works, but if you fight a regular one, he's one of the few monsters that'll actually eat like poisoned meat, paralyzed meat, and like the option to craft that is always there, but you never do it because you never need to. But I think they should put more emphasis on like, hey, if you bring this, like, you know, it's going to make the fight significantly easier. And you can balance it by like, maybe it only works once or twice, or like, you know, first time he only needs to eat one and then he needs to eat two or something like that. You can balance it that way. So it's not always like, hey, this will always work, but like maybe it's at the point of the hunt where like, okay, we're running low on resources. Now it's the time to use, you know, the trick strats. And like, I think having something that is like open world where like if it is like even just like open zone where it's like just big, like 4 areas that all are like open world and you can climb and ride and do whatever. I think we need to bring back paintball. I think tracking needs to be back. And I think Capcom needs to do something to fix the monster spawning in the same location every time you hit a mission. I mean, on like story mission, it makes sense. But if you're just doing like hunt this, I think it needs to be, you know, more varied. So it's not every time you start a hunt, it's everyone runs to this one spot. You know where he is. You know this monster's gonna walk in. I think if they made you deal with additional monsters more, than that would help that. See, I'm not a huge fan of the multi-monster fights, or like, because they're so big and you can kind of just get stun locked regardless. Like, I'm okay with like you need to fight 2 monsters for a quest, but like at the same time, I think they kind of did that with Rise. Because, you know, there's the monster controlling aspect of, you know, the wire bug mechanic. Where you can, you know, you can have this monster fight this monster and you'll do a lot of damage. And then you can ride that monster and fight the other monster. And there's a lot of fun ideas. Okay, so like you mechanically have to deal with them so that so you don't end up with that situation. Yeah. But you can kind of already do that. There is a simple like solution to that, which is called the dung bomb, which just makes the monster move away. So it's tough. Monster Hunter is in a tough spot because it's got a bigger audience now, which Capcom probably likes. But, you know, now the old fans are like, I don't really like the direction it's going right now. They've streamlined it so much that it's kind of, you know, a different game. Make it more complex. People need to add more to the kit. We'll use those mechanics more during fights. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, but like how? How could they do it? I mean, we'll see soon enough. Probably not until probably later this year. We'll get a trailer. Game Awards 2024. Thanks, Square Off. I'm gonna sneeze. You know, I'm not a game designer. I can only pitch ideas. How to actually get a solution, you know, I can't test that. And I know for a fact reintroducing older elements into newer games is gonna make people angry. And not like not the old fan, maybe a couple old fans, but like definitely like newer, like Monster Hunter World and Rise players. They would get so mad. They're like, they'd go into the snow mission, be losing all their stamina and health, and they'll be like, I didn't bring any hot drinks. Now I have to leave the quest. Yeah. Like, I really want it to be like that. I really want the prep work to be back in it. And no, like, monster fighting mechanics. Like, oh, now you can ride the monster. Oh, you can slam them into the wall. Mounting was fine, which is why I think 4 is probably the best Monster Hunter. And it's the one I think I put the most time into. And that was the last classic style Monster Hunter. His Generations added the big special moves, which are kind of back in Rise. It's just that your wire bug is your resource for big moves. I mean, you could have like a universal mechanic that is like every weapon has like a unique thing, which it kind of already does, but like even more. Like, I would love if they brought back, I even mentioned this, I think, in like earlier when Rise was like not even out. Like, bring back the Sword and Shield oils. So you could have like the affinity oil or the, you know, damage up oil or higher defense oil or whatever. Just bring that back. And just like give every new, like give every weapon a unique new thing. Think they'll have modes? I don't think they'll have modes. They'll probably go for something like it's a seamless open world and you'll be able to, like this pseudo MMO kind of style. It's a seamless open world with other hunters just wandering about. Notice a big monster on your map? Look, other hunters got the alert too. Let's all go there and hunt, you know, the Elder Dragon. That's kind of giving me like Diablo 4 kind of vibes. But you know what? Good. Steal that from Diablo 4. Fallout 76 was much better than New Vegas because of that. I think that's a hot take because I know 76 is like hated. But I'm also not a New Vegas enjoyer. Where I can admit it's better than Fallout 3. I just prefer Fallout 3 because I prefer a little bit more of a guided experience. Where I know people love New Vegas because of how much you can just do right out of the gate. That's not really my bag. But also I tried to play New Vegas immediately after like Fallout 3. And I was fall outed, which is not a great terminology, but like I just couldn't play anymore. I'm like, more of this? Really? I can't. That was sarcasm, okay. But like, I think they'll try and do stuff like that. I think open world random events is inevitable. I think it's going to happen with Wilds. We've introduced a new running wild monsters, which will rampage a specific area of the map. And I mean, that's kind of a universal mechanic. They had that in 4 with Frenzy. So you don't have to have the universal mechanic. I didn't even think that the monsters could have the universal mechanic. And I think they brought back Frenzy, specifically in Rise, because they brought back Gormagala. And I didn't even bother playing Rise after they updated him. Or updated it with him. And Gormagala's like... I love 4. 4 was just so fun. So Gormagala is one of my favorites. And he's kind of unique too, because I don't think he has the same, like... He's kind of like Tigrex, but like... He's like a combination of like Elder Dragon and Tigrex. And obviously there's more than one version of them. Nice worse version of square off. Dude could also insta-kill me. I'm gonna go to the bathroom though real quick.